Fire partially burns South RUIMVELDT home. Hynes stepped down as PM candidate. Former Linden mayor says coalition will win the youth votes. In the region, Haiti memorializes victims of devastating 2010 earthquake, and internationally, journalists in Sudan decry government suppression of press freedom. Greetings. And welcome to this edition of Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Over the weekend, Nigel Hynes withdrew his candidacy as the PM candidate for Change Guyana. More from George Gonzalez.
Nigel Hynes, the prime ministerial candidate for the newly formed political party Change Guyana, has announced that he is dropping out of the race, citing health concerns and his dual citizenship status. In a statement released on Sunday, Hynes claimed that his condition precludes his ability to renounce his citizenship. He said, quote, "To my friends and supporters, it is with much sadness and disappointment that I now withdraw as a candidate to represent Change Guyana as the prime ministerial candidate due to my current dual citizenship status and likely medical condition that I learnt of in November of 2019. I was hoping that subsequent diagnostic tests would be favorable. However, the prognosis requires further medical intervention that is best done in the United States, where I am also a citizen." Hours later, the party's presidential candidate, Robert Badal, expressed his support for Hynes and noted that Hynes will continue to hold a pivotal role within the party. He said, quote, "I would like to wish my dearest colleague the best of health and speedy recovery. I stand ready to offer any assistance he may need. It is never an easy task to choose between health and country. Nigel has made his choice and our entire executive, members, and supporters are behind him on his decision. Nigel inspired me to co-found Change Guyana, and he will continue to function as the party's chairman to bring his wealth of knowledge and experience to guide our campaign and our policies." End quote. While Hynes is expected to retain his position as the chairman of Change Guyana, the party has yet to name a new PM candidate. Channel 2 Headline News, George Gonzalez.
Thanks, George. Former Mayor of Linden, Carwin Holland, believes that the youths will vote for the coalition government. Esther Sobers spoke to the APNU member who explained why he feels so.
Election season is now in full swing, with 30 political parties currently in the race and are hosting rallies, producing political jingles, and having meet and greets. In a recent interview, Headline News spoke to the former mayor of Linden and APNU member Carwin Holland. He believes that based on their track record, the coalition is the best choice for the nation's youth. What are the thoughts of the youth in Linden, more so about your government's party this grant? Are they satisfied? Are they happy with what they're seeing? Do they want continuous change? Is there something more they want from the government? What are the talks from the youths?
Okay, now the voting bloc are young people who were there 5 years ago. The voting bloc, they remember what happened, let's say from 2015 to 2015. And they remember clearly the attitude and the behavior of the People's Progressive Party. So speaking to many young persons in Linden and across Guyana, because yesterday I was in Berbice, and you can hear the young people. You can see the rejection of the PPP. I questioned and I asked why. One of the things, these young people remember those days when young people could not have gone outside of their yard. A short while ago, I was speaking to a young lady who was saying that she wants to ensure that there is peace. She's running a little salon, and she's alone in the salon, and she said, I can be free, but once, if it was before, I had to lock up, all right? I could not have, through the government. In the indigenous communities, you have the HES program, and you have lots of programs for the young people of Guyana. They're getting access to loans. They're getting access to grants. They're getting access to scholarship. Young people in Guyana are being placed in the diplomatic corps, in the embassies. And this is the first time in Guyana's history you have such a large amount of young people within the consulates and the embassies abroad. I don't know if that is something you thought of. Yes. If you check the record, you will see that there are large amounts of youth who are sent abroad to represent. In terms of scholarships, now you have a fair distribution of scholarships and persons getting access to scholarship. No longer they're looking at the color of your skin or your ethnicity, but now you're getting a fair distribution or grants of scholarships around.
So you're saying the young people, they generally fear they go back to the dark days if the PPP becomes the next rules this country.
And that wouldn't happen. It's also an indictment against the PPP coming from the youth of this country, because remember a few months ago, or just a year plus ago, the PPP were fighting to prevent young people from registering from voting in Guyana.
Have any regrets? Let's just say that the government should have done more, or you wish something more should have been done, or this shouldn't have been done when the government was in power?
Well, if the only thing I wish is that they should continue to deny the communities of development, persons who are loyal to themselves and who are loyal to the PPP, a party, instead of being loyal to the people who elected them to serve.
I think you have that problem in local government elections.
Yes, that is the problem. And right now it's happening, where you have, and the problem you have there is that they are following the advice of the leaders, Barajagdi and others, who are encouraging them or discouraging them from being good participants within the local government organ. They do not attend training sessions. It stops them from going to programs and participating if a government ministry or an official is coming to the region to further development and local development work. They would try to stop progress. They will not participate. And in actual fact, in many of these NDCs, they are denying and withholding development projects. And they are doing this because they want to say the coalition government is not doing anything. But it is a local body that's responsible for the local development. Of course, there's oversight. And this government has not been injecting its power and its will on localities.
Because a lot of persons were still blaming the government when they're not seeing development happen, because they often do a lot of stories. For example, okay, the road is being neglected, we don't have any street lights, and they're wondering why. Why this is not happening. So
it's the role of the NDCs and the localities.
But as you're saying,
it's complex. It's complex. So if people understand the system of government, we have the 3 tiers of government. We have the central, the regional, and the municipal, or we have the NDCs and so on. Now, if this as such, but because of political partisanship, we find persons are not cooperating. Guyana is not a mature political society. Guyana is still in the not for certain things and be focused on development, irrespective of which party you serve.
For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. When we return, fire partially burns South RUIMVELDT home.
Commission has published the revised list of electors. Eligible persons are advised to check their information on the list posted in their respective areas or on the GCOM's website at www.gcom.org.gy. Persons who did transactions such as new registration, changes, or corrections to ensure that they are listed and information is correct. If your information is not correctly stated, you must visit the GCOM office in your area on or before the 25th of January 2020 with the triplicate copy of the registration form referred to as the pink slip to ensure the update is done. The updated website at www.gcom.org.gy. Follow GCOM on Facebook at Guyana Elections Commission. Contact us on 225-027729 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.org.gy or the nearest GCOM records.
It's handmade, it's chocolate, it's true, it's healthy, organic, delicious, and nutritious. Have a taste of our chocolates, cakes, and much more. Flavors like never before. Try our peppermint, walnut ginger, coconut rum cream, and pistachio. Only at Mason Church and afternoon tea, only by reservations. Telephone 648-2619. Mason Francois Chocolatier, the best chocolates you ever have.
Welcome to Kisum's Furniture. Find every furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and Sleep Center, where you can find homes for over 60 years.
There is a jobs crisis in Guyana. Investments have dried up, and we have lost 30,000 jobs. When the PPPC was in government, there was more investment available and healthcare improved. Thousands of plots of land were given to Guyanese of all races and classes. Affordable homes were built. Taxes and the cost of living were lower, and more crimes were solved. Vote PPPC for a stronger and safer.
Or you claim to be, you would be given a ballot paper that is stamped at the back, top and bottom halves in your presence. On the ballot paper, provision is made for you to vote twice. Once at the top section where you vote for the party of your choice in the general election, and once at the bottom section where you vote for the party of your choice in the... After you have voted, fold the ballot paper as shown by the election official. Dip the first joint of your right index finger in the ink provided and place the ballot paper in the ballot box that is there for this purpose. You would then have to peacefully depart the polling station. For more information, contact GCOM on 225-027@gcom.org.gy or visit GCOM's website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Police are currently investigating a serious accident which occurred this past Saturday on the Essequibo coast. According to police, at about 6:40 p.m. on Middlesex Public Road, 42-year-old Ganesh Narayan was driving a canter north along the western side of the road when he came to a stop. At the time, 31-year-old Rajiv Shamnarayan of Adventure Essequibo Coast was riding a motorcycle behind the canter. However, he reportedly struck the rear of the truck as he was negotiating a slight left bend in the road. Shamnarayan was taken to the Saudi Public Hospital in a conscious state and admitted to the intensive care unit. A house in South RUIMVELDT caught fire over the weekend. However, Esther Sobers tells us that the prompt action from the Guyana Fire Service saved the building, allowing the occupants to open their shop this morning.
A family of 4 from the South RUIMVELDT Park is grateful to be alive after a fire, which was electrical in nature, destroyed the upper flats of their 2-story home.
The fire started around 1 something, 4 in the morning, Sunday, and my aunt was watching television and her son was downstairs around that time, and while she watching television, she heard a song in the bedroom. So she thought her son was still knocking, because he was knocking earlier downstairs, and she didn't take it for nothing. She heard a song in the bedroom, like packs. So something burning. So when she get up to go to the room, that's when she opened the door and saw the fire engulfing the blind or some clothes inside of the bedroom.
The upper flat of the house was destroyed by fire, and the family was unable to save most of the items from their home. Nonetheless, they sang praises to the firefighters who arrived promptly at the scene. They were able to quell the fire and save the lower flat, which houses a business. Fortunately, it is still operational.
And within, let's say 3 minutes, 5 minutes, they were already here, and they were able to dose the building, leaving it at this state here. So we want to thank them and credit them that they would have came. Downstairs was both places were damaged a bit in terms of water and some fire, but we were able to out those quickly.
The Thomas family has been living in South RUIMVELDT Park for the past 30 years. Their house was insured, and as such, they plan to rebuild soon. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. After the break, we have your regional and international news.
The Guyana Elections Commission has published the revised list of electors. Eligible persons are advised to check their information on the list posted in their respective areas or on the GCOM's website at www.gcom.org.gy. Persons who did transactions such as new registration, changes, or corrections to their information in the recent registration exercises must check the revised list of electors to ensure that they are listed and information is correct. If your information is not correctly stated, you must visit the GCOM office in your area on or before the 25th of January 2020. With the triplicate copy of the registration form referred to will be on the official list of electors. For more information, visit our website at www.gcom.org.gy. Follow GCOM on Facebook at Guyana Elections Commission. Contact us on 225-027729 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.
There is a jobs crisis in Guyana. Investments have dried up, and we have lost 30,000 jobs. When the PPPC was in government, there was more investment and thousands of jobs were created. Hospitals were opened, medications were available, and healthcare improved. Thousands of plots of land were given to Guyanese of all races and classes. Affordable homes were built. Taxes and the cost of living were lower, and more crimes were solved. Vote PPPC for a stronger and safer Guyana.
Hey, man. School up in 2 weeks now, you know. How come you don't tell what came by?
School is not for me, you know.
No, I mean, no. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I don't see how would they teach you in school can help me make money. I did. The money where I just get out here, that's up to more than what some of them teachers is getting.
True. Makes sense. But let's tell you this, boy. I dep on the face of the earth longer than you. And I never see drop out of school. I always hear the regrets in the voice. Hey, Philip, you're off to school. See the regrets on the face.
Your child is a precious gem in the rough. Always the Lord's school is on yours. Don't give your child a chance to regress it.
Your child's schooling should.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
But guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-867.
The Guyana Elections Commission has published the revised list of electors. Eligible persons are advised to check their information on the list posted in their respective areas or on the GCOM's website at www.gcom.org.gy. Persons who did translation exercises must check the revised list of electors to ensure that they are listed and information is correct. If your information is not correctly stated, You must visit the GCOM office in your area on or before the 25th of January 2020 with the triplicate copy of the registration form referred to as the pink slip to ensure the update is done. The updated and corrected information will be on the official list of electors. For more information, visit our website at www.gcom.org.gy. Follow GCOM on Facebook at Guyana Elections Commission. Contact us on 225-0277-9 or 223-9653. Email pro@gcom.org.gy or the nearest GCOM registration office.
Welcome back. In the region, Haitians are remembering those who died in an earthquake in 2010. About 300,000 persons were killed and over 1.5 million were displaced. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bow reports.
Another year to remember, the worst tragedy this country has seen in recent history. 10 years ago, a 7.0 earthquake devastated Haiti and added to the endemic troubles that already affect the population here. President Jovenel Moïse paid tribute to those who died in a mass grave in San Christophe. But the ceremony did not last long. The president had to be rushed out when protesters arrived to the scene.
I'm here to put flowers for the victims of the earthquake. The president shouldn't be here.
Freedom or death, they chanted at the burial site. Protests have been ongoing this past few months. Many are angry at the ongoing economic crisis, corruption, and what they say is the failure of the reconstruction process. But the president told Al Jazeera he's also unhappy about the way aid was handled, even though he has been in office for almost 3 years.
It was the reality. They established a structure that was intended to spend the aid money, and now we inherit the problems that we are dealing with today. Now, it is a must that everyone is able to understand that there has been mistakes, and altogether we need to correct these mistakes.
But in spite of the general disappointment, pay tribute to them.
Today means a lot to me. I lost family and friends, and I won't ever forget that day. That day I experienced the worst of the worst. But we had a lot of solidarity, and we are still here, surviving.
Food and housing have always been an issue in Haiti, but since the earthquake, the situation became even worse.
This neighborhood is known as Foc National. It was completely destroyed by the earthquake. Most of the buildings that you can see here were rubble. Thousands of people died on January 12, 2010. And as you can see, some of these houses have been rebuilt with the help of the United Nations and other aid organizations, but many of the people we have spoken to say that much more needs to be done.
Canaan, just outside of Port-au-Prince, has become the emblem of what went wrong with the reconstruction process. Hundreds of thousands who lost their homes continue to live in dire conditions. Mark Schuler says the way the system was set up was wrong.
The international aid system treated people like victims, like children that need to be taught how to wash their hands, for example, and their priority needs.
Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and this year the situation is likely to get even worse. The suffering caused by the earthquake is ongoing and has only served to highlight how the Haitian government and the international aid system have failed. Teresa Bow, Al Jazeera, Port-au-Prince.
Papers and 2 television stations as a grave assault on the freedom of the press. The government says these media organizations were funded by the country's former leaders, but it has not provided any proof of this. Al Jazeera's Heba Morgan reports.
For nearly 5 years, Mashar Ahmed has worked gave her a sense of accomplishment. A sense, she says, was taken away a week ago when Sudan's transitional government seized the paper she worked for.
I was working on a news piece when I heard that a decision was made to shut down some media outlets, including the one I worked for. The slogans of the new government was freedom. Where is the freedom in banning us from working?
The newspaper is called El Sudani, and it's one of 4 media outlets the government has seized. The new administration came to power in August after months of anti-government protests led to the military overthrow of President Omar al-Bashir, and after power sharing seized all its assets and money.
لا تستهدف
We are not targeting the media outlets because of their editorial lines. The law we use to seize them is based on the law to dismantle assets of the former ruling party and return the state funds that they have used to prop them up. We've gathered information to believe that the outlets have been funded or have received funds from the former regime.
The move has been rejected by the Sudanese Journalists Union, which, along with other unions, was also ordered to disband in December. The International Federation of Journalists has condemned the move, calling it a grave assault on press freedom and the fundamental right of freedom of association. The seizure of media outlets has not only led to accusations the government is cracking down on press freedom, but has also brought in another argument. While Sudan's transitional administration says the move is part of an investigation to find sources of funds, many here, especially other journalists, are asking if the move is even legal. Some say the government should do more to prove its case before taking such actions.
The Caesar decision was based on a decree to dissolve the ruling party, but even using that to halt the work of 2 newspapers and 2 TV stations leaves room for this to be taken as a crackdown on press freedom. The body that issued the decision said that the owners of the media outlets received funds from the Sudanese government, but they didn't give any evidence.
Mashire says she was told her income won't be affected. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, or you can visit our website at Headline.